You landed that new job. Congratulations. But the fact is, the real interview starts now. Your first 90 days aren't just about learning, they're about building your reputation. They're about proving that you are an asset and not just another hire. So this is your proven, practical guide to mastering your first 90 days in any new role, so you don't just survive, you stand out.
Are you ready?
I still remember walking into the office day one. I didn't know where my workstation was. When I finally found it, there was not even a chair there. There was no direction. I didn't even know where the washrooms were. But I learned a valuable lesson. It is not anyone's job to help you succeed. It is your responsibility to take ownership from day one. Step one is to listen, learn, and observe. Your job in your first 30 days is to absorb as much as you possibly can. You need to ask some critical questions and make sure you take the initiative to get the answers to those questions. Questions such as, what does success look like in my role, in the department, and for the company? The next question you got to really think about is, what is the biggest challenge? Again, facing my role, my department, and the company. And then you want to look at, who should I connect with? Who are those key people that you can connect with who will essentially be your allies? The people who will say good things about you when you're not in the room. Your job in this step is to simply listen and repeat back as you're learning. Step 2. Clarify expectations. You want to make sure that you take the time to set a date to meet with your manager. Again, you are asking questions. You want to ask, what are the top 3 priorities for this role and for our department? You want to ask, how do I measure success? How do you measure success? And then the critical point in setting that expectation and really starting the early stages of building that relationship, you want to be clear on what is the expected communication protocol. Meaning, does your manager want to meet once a week, once every couple weeks? Do they want to be updated on every single detail, or do they just want the high-level facts as required? Clarify the expectations. Step 3. Build relationships. This is critical. In any new role, it doesn't matter how much you know. It matters who you know. So your job is to take the initiative to walk around and get to know people. And I'm not saying walk around to waste time, but take the initiative to build relationships. Get to know who all the players and stakeholders are in the business, and take the time to say hello, to smile, to introduce yourself. Those are the quick wins you need when you're starting out. And you want to build those relationships because, again, those people who you're building relationships today will be your allies. They will be the people who speak positively about you when you're not in the room. Step 4. Deliver quick wins. You want to identify 1 to 3 quick wins that you can achieve. And when you achieve those quick wins, you want to be humble. Don't just say, don't have that attitude, look at me, but just be humble and just say, I'd like to update you on something. Get those quick wins right away. Step 5. Identify long-term opportunities. Here's where you need to start thinking strategically. You need to think long-term, not just in terms of weeks, but in terms of months, maybe even years. What is the bigger picture? I remember walking into an organization and them saying to me that they had a recruitment problem. They couldn't fill vacancies in time. And as I reviewed the metrics, I realized they were actually filling positions very quickly. So the question was, why were there all these vacancies? And I realized that it was like taking a glass with a hole in the bottom and continuing to fill that glass with water and wondering why the glass was never full of water. For every one position that they filled, they were losing 2 people. So what I very quickly concluded is they didn't have a recruitment problem, but they had a retention problem. So my job was to help them and support them in thinking long-term strategically. How do we create a more engaged and loyal culture where we can create that retention that is necessary? Think long-term. Step 6. Ask for feedback early and make sure you're asking often. You want to make sure that, again, you're taking the time to meet with your manager, meet with peers, meet with people outside of your department, and ask 2 very simple questions. Number 1, what am I doing well? And number 2, what do you see as my opportunities for improvement? By taking the initiative to ask these types of questions, you are receiving the feedback you need to learn, progress, and grow. But more than that, the message that you're sending to the individuals that you're speaking to, especially when you take the initiative to ask the questions instead of waiting for the questions to be asked of you, is you're showing that emotional intelligence. You're showing that you have the self-awareness and that you have the resilience to be able to receive that feedback and take it, learn, and grow from it. Finally, you want to manage your energy, not just your time. Those first 90 days can be grueling. I know I've talked to several people who started in an organization, and in those first 90 days, probably even before those 90 days were completed, they reach literally a point of burnout. You're going to reach a point where you're going to work these long hours, you're going to want to work through breaks and lunches, you're going to want to do whatever it takes to prove yourself. And that's fine. But make sure you take the time to energize yourself and to take care of your own wellness. If you are not healthy, you will not be good to anyone else. So take the time to make sure you focus on your nutrition. Make sure you're moving. If you're sitting at a desk all day, get up every hour, move around. If you are not able to do that, make sure you get in some exercise at least once a day. Do whatever it takes to take care of you, because you cannot help others and be the best version of yourself if you're not taking care of you first. Your first 90 days aren't about being perfect. They're about being intentional. You need to be curious, committed, and most importantly, consistent. In those first 90 days, if you follow these practical steps, at the end of those 90 days, they won't just be saying, "Welcome aboard." They will be saying to you, "We're lucky we have you."